Good morning. Reverend Clergy, Honorable Mayor, State Delegation, City Council members, Revere School Committee members, family members of the Revere Fire Department, 100 Club members, friends, retirees of the Revere Fire Department, and members of our department, welcome to this, our 66th Memorial Sunday here at the Point of Pine Station in honor of our departed members of the department. We are gathered here today honoring 3 of our retirees that have passed away this year. To start our program this morning, we shall have the raising of colors and then lowered to half-staff by Robert Fortuna, Captain and Secretary Treasurer, Revere Firefighters, Local 926. And as the colors are raised, playing call to colors will be Captain Stephen Forgione, Revere Auxiliary Police. Detail, present arms. Order arms. Parade rest. Now for our invocation. The invocation shall be by Father Michael Ferrara, Revere Fire Department Chaplain, retired. Detail, attention.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we call upon you on this Firefighters Memorial Sunday as we remember our departed Revere firefighters who have fought the good fight and ran the race to protect and save our lives from both human and natural disasters in all seasons and in all types of weather. For this they earned the crown of righteousness and heavenly rewards, which they justly deserve. For now they see the sunset from their heavenly abode. We now offer this prayer on behalf of all of us here to you, our one God who is, was, and will be forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
Parade rest. I now present to you the Honorable Dan Rizzo, Mayor of Revere, to deliver the opening address.
Thank you very much, Deputy. Chief Doherty, Senator Petroselli, Representative Vincent, colleagues in government, members of the Revere Fire Department, past and present, and most of all to the families of those whose name will forever stand on this wall before us. It is an honor for me to be sharing in this ceremony with you here today. Firefighters live with the deepest awareness of the fragility of life. That knowledge is rooted in tragedies like the blaze we and residents of firefighters across the country experienced this past March that took the lives of Lieutenant Edward J. Walsh, Jr. and firefighter Michael R. Kennedy. I certainly don't have to tell anyone who's here today about your responsibilities and the unknown dangers that come with the oath of becoming a firefighter. You know them far better than I ever will or could. You all understand the magnitude of what your job entails. You understand that flames don't discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned veteran or a fresh graduate out of the academy working just your second fire. Firefighters understand that you can follow every safety rule and prepare and train until the correct procedure is second nature. But if you're in the wrong place, in the wrong fire, tragedy can still strike. That's what makes firefighters so extraordinary. You go to work every day with that understanding and still rush toward the danger everyone else flees. While always respecting the fires you fight, you shut out your fear and boldly march into harm's way to save lives, save homes, and preserve livelihoods. In doing so, you give people a second chance to be with loved ones at holidays, birthdays, graduations, and weddings. In short, you give people a second chance at life. Our fire stations are staffed and have been staffed by people like the men and women you see here today. Some are newly appointed, others are seasoned veterans. Our retirees continue to serve by participating in retirements, promotional and swearing-in ceremonies, and of course, memorial services like this one held every year on Sunday in June. All of you, along with the fallen we honor here today, at some point in their lives, were inspired by the nobility and the importance of public service. Maybe some of our newer firefighters were inspired by events such as those that took place on September 11th. Or maybe it was a much more personal event, seeing firefighters respond quickly to a neighborhood fire, watching with pride how a family member before you had bravely served. Or perhaps witnessing an EMT saving the life of a perfect stranger. Wherever such dedication comes from, it's a blessing for all of us. That dedication drives you to greater heights of service, helping make a better, safer world. I'm sure it drove those individuals that we honor here this morning. And to those mourning loved ones, please know that their sacrifice and their selflessness will continue to inspire future generations of firefighters. And in that important way, they will continue saving lives for many years to come. I know their bravery and dedication to duty weighed heavily on you and continues to weigh on the families of our active duty firefighters, whose families, some of which are here today. Not knowing what their beloved husband, father, brother, sister, son or daughter would face that day. I'd like to share a quote from the Fireman's Journal dated October 18, 1879. When fire is cried and danger is nigh, God and the fireman is the people's cry. But when 'tis out and all things righted, God is forgotten and the fireman slighted. On behalf of myself and our elected officials here today, I want all of you, and in particular, the families of those we are all here for, to know that we will never forget the great sacrifices that were made on behalf of all Revere residents, past and present. We thank you for their service. They made life for all of us that much safer and better. May God bless all of you, and through you, may He continue to bless the Revere Fire Department and the great city of Revere. Thank you.
We will now have the placing of the memorial wreath in the shape of the Firefighters Maltese Cross in honor of our departed members. Placing the wreath shall be Guy Landry, Captain and President, Revere Firefighters, Local 926, and Kevin O'Hara, Lieutenant and Vice President, Revere Firefighters, Local 926. Detail, attention! Present arms. Order arms. Would Deputy Tulare please step forward? We shall now have the reading of the names of this year's departed members and the placing of a marker in front of these names on the memorial. I now present to you one of our very distinguished and dedicated retirees, Deputy George Tulare, and we also have with us today Lieutenant Anthony V. Pesci, retired and Secretary Treasurer Emeritus of Local 926. Great to see you.
Lieutenant Frederick D. White. Captain Henry S. Olson. Firefighter Salvatore G. Ciampa.
In honor of our departed members, we will now have Chelsea Fire Captain Steve Denning of the Chelsea Firefighters Pipes and Drums play Going Home. To give this year's memorial address shall be State Senator Anthony Petroselli.
Good morning. Chief Doherty, Mayor Rizzo, President Landry, Representative Vincent, City Council President Zambuto, and the members of the City Council and School Committee, and Sheriff Tompkins. It's truly an honor to be addressing you this morning. As a former state representative from East Boston, I never had the privilege of attending an event such as this, as we don't have a Memorial Sunday. So since 2007, I've had the pleasure and honor of attending this event, and I can't tell you how impressed I have been and how humbled I am to be here this morning to spend a few minutes addressing you. As we honor the lives of Lieutenant Frederick White, Captain Henry Olson, and Firefighter Sal Ciampa. Last night, I sat at home watching Game 2 of the Stanley Cup between the Kings and Rangers, double overtime. For those of you who missed it, it was truly remarkable. I sat there thinking about what I might say to you all this morning, and I thought that I'd spend a few minutes talking about a couple of the things that I learned very recently in the past few months from your very own Revere firefighters about the sacrifices and the dangers of the job of a firefighter. Kevin O'Hara is an old softball teammate of mine. He couldn't hit back then either, guys. He called me and invited me to come to the annual Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts legislative dinner with President Landry and some of the guys. I thought it was a great idea and opportunity for me to get to know them and learn from them what their issues are that are facing them and their members. There had been at the time legislation proposed to affect not only pensions of municipal employees, including firefighters, but to really affect retiree health care. Ed Kelly, the president of the Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts, was giving remarks, and he was talking about a New Hampshire firefighter that had recently perished in a fire, and he, in his description of what had taken his life, he used a term that I had not heard before, that I know they all have, that the firefighter got caught in a flashover. I turned to Robert Fortuna and asked him what that was, and he told me it's when the heat inside a room of a fire gets so great that everything inside of it turns to flames. I said, wow, that's unbelievable. I didn't know that. It was just a few weeks later that tragedy struck Boston in the Back Bay that took the lives of Lieutenant Walsh and firefighter Kennedy. I attended the funerals for both men, and a lot of us always have heard about the incredible bond that exists between the brotherhood of being a firefighter. I saw it those days at those funerals when there were over 10,000 firefighters in attendance. A lot of your Revere firefighters were there. Dan Rizzo, the mayor of Revere, was there. As a Boston resident, Mayor, thank you for your attendance. And I started to really think about that, the sacrifices that are made and the bond that exists, how very real that is. While the dangers that face active firefighters are very real, and we know that, we also know that those dangers oftentimes do not manifest themselves until many years after retirement. Smoke, dust, stress, just to name a few, cause respiratory problems, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. As we reflect on the great sacrifices made by firefighters, it's so important and appropriate to honor and pay tribute to those who have passed on in this year and to their families. And also to understand that the next time there's a plan or a proposal to affect retiree health care of firefighters, they better have a real good reason for why we should turn our back on these men and women, because we know they never have or never will turn their back on all of us. On behalf of my colleagues in the Massachusetts Senate, I want to express our deepest sympathies to the families who have lost loved ones this year and say thank you for all the service that they provided us over the years. Have a good day.
We shall now have taps, played by Captain Stephen Forgione, Revere Auxiliary Police. Detail, present arms! Order arms. Parade rest. For the closing remarks of this Memorial Sunday, we have our State Representative Rose Lee Vincent.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mayor Rizzo, Chief Doherty, my colleague at the State House, Senator Petroselli, the school committee, and the city council members who are here today, distinguished guests, and most importantly, the families and members of the Revere Fire Department. It's an honor to be here delivering the closing remarks at this solemn event. Today, we gather in front of this memorial to honor the members of the Revere Fire Department who have gone before us. In a special way, we remember 3 of Revere's finest who passed away this year. Lieutenant Frederick White, Captain Henry Olson, and firefighter Sal Ciampa. We are here to honor their service to humanity, to fellow firefighters, and to the city of Revere. We are here to pay tribute to their memory by remembering their courage and their sense of duty. Earlier today, I looked up the word hero in the dictionary. It was defined as anyone who in the face of danger and adversity displays courage and the will for self-sacrifice. The men we remember today, as well as all of the members of the Revere Fire Department, both past and present, meet the definition of hero. I would personally like to thank all of you for your bravery, your courage, and your service to not only the people of Revere, but to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. You are all true heroes in my book. And in closing, I hope that upon leaving today's ceremony, we will continue to honor the memory of all fallen firefighters by supporting our brave and selfless firefighters of today. Thank you all, and God bless you all.
Now for a presentation to the families in memoriam of this year's departed members. Eugene W. Doherty, Chief of Department. Parade rest.
Good morning. This is just a small memento that we present the families to. And what it is the history of the Maltese Cross. And you see the Maltese Cross that's there in our floral wreath. And on the firefighters, that on their hats, their caps, is the shape of the Maltese Cross. And this signifies going back to the Crusades, when the Knights of Malta initially were the first firefighters. And through the Crusades, the Saracens were pouring burning oil over the walls. And this was a group of knights that were charged with going in and saving these people. So in effect, the first firefighters at that time during the Crusades. This Maltese Cross is a symbol of protection. It's a badge of honor. Its story is hundreds of years old. And the Maltese Cross is your sign of protection. It means that the firefighter who wears this cross is willing to lay down his life for you. Just as the Crusaders sacrificed their lives for their fellow man so many years ago, the Maltese Cross is a firefighter's badge of honor, signifying that he works in courage and brotherhood. We present the Maltese Cross to Captain Henry S. Olson, to his wife. Henry S. Olson wore the Maltese Cross for the Revere Fire Department. We now present the plaque to Sal Ciampa's wife, Gail, in honor of Sal, the Maltese Cross, the Badge of Honor, and that Sal Ciampa wore this Maltese Cross for the Revere Fire Department. For those of you who don't know, Lieutenant White moved to Florida some time ago. He passed away this year, and his son, his family is down there. They were unable to attend, but we'll make sure that he gets this.
Now to present the Career Service Awards to current members of the department shall be Mayor Dan Rizzo and Chief of Department Eugene Doherty. Detail, attention!
This award, we some years ago decided to present here at the ceremony, Memorial Ceremony. And it shows it's a career service award that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts set up. In conjunction with the Department of Fire Services and the Commonwealth Fire Service Commission, I am pleased to announce this year's recipients of the Career Service Awards for the officers and firefighters have attained at least 20 years of service, dedicated fire service as a career firefighter on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in this department. The following members will step forward. For 35 years of service, and the Dean of our Lieutenants, Lieutenant Frank Ferranti. Frankie loves that Dean, Lieutenant. The previous Dean was Andy Drinkwater. Frankie took over. And now, for 20 years of service, I present to you Captain Thomas Tedisco. For 20 years of service, Lieutenant John Carey. Do we have Firefighter Janino Ferragamo? Firefighter Stanley Ferragamo for 20 years of service. Also receiving an award this year, Firefighter Joseph Janino for 20 years of service. If I can get this to stop backfading. Again, good morning, and thank you for being here with us this morning. I want to welcome Father Mike. It's just tremendous to have Father Mike. If you don't know Father Mike, Father Mike is the personification of a priest. He is the guy you want if you ever need a priest. Trust me. Father Mike goes way back with us. He originally started at St. John Vianney, and then it was St. Anthony's, St. Mary's in Lynn, and he's come back this year. We always were getting him on the run, this and that, so we're very glad that he's here with us. And I truly love the guy. He's a great guy. Mayor Rizzo, retired Chief Anderson, retired Chief Danny Doherty couldn't make it with us today. Members of our state delegation, Senator Petroselli, Representative Vincent, and the Speaker, DeLeo, was unable to be with us this morning. It's the first one that he's ever missed. He had a family affair down in New York City, and he just couldn't get out of it. So the members of the City Council, our former Mayor and Councilor at Large Bob Hass, who is also a 100 Club member. We have Councilor of Ward 5, John Powers, who I must recognize as, if you didn't know, the sidewalk, we went for a couple of decades with a decrepit sidewalk. Councilor Powers fought the DCI, got them to do it. And this past year, you'll notice the puddles are gone. We used to have the politicians stand in the puddles. It was good. But he got a storm drain installed for us, and it makes a tremendous difference in the cleanliness and keeping things up in the station. And we appreciate it, Councilor Powers. We have also Councilor Large Stephen Morabito, Councilor Ward 3 Arthur Guanasso. You rode your bike here, right? Yeah, okay. We have Councilor of Ward 6, Charlie Patch, retired police officer. We have Councilor at Large Brian Arrigo. I saw right, yep. And we have our President of the Council, Anthony Zambuto, and our own granddaughter of our firefighter Chris Giannino, Jessica Giannino. Thank you. This morning we have some members of the school committee with us, Dan McGuire, Michael Ferranti. Thank you for being with us. And I didn't forget Ira, as somebody mentioned. Usually Ira has a conflicting date as well, and I have a separate paragraph on, but Councilor Ward 2, Ira Novosel. Thank you. We also have with us this morning is Sheriff Steve Tompkins. We're very honored to have you come to the ceremony, Sheriff. I particularly want to thank the Revere Auxiliary Police and Chief Campbell that are here. They come here on their own time and effort, and it's very much appreciated for the help that they give us for this ceremony. To my dear friend, Captain Steve Denning, well, acting deputy right now, right, Stevie? For the Chelsea Fire Department, who's been playing our pipes and drums. Especially to Mike and Susan Myers, we will always remember and honor your son, Michael. And to the retired members of our department that are here today with us. Deputy Bright had mentioned Lieutenant Pesci. This is great that he's here with us today. Lieutenant Pesci was the stalwart behind keeping the ceremony going back started in '48 and kept it going for many years, and started that tradition that we honor here today to our fellow firefighters. We also have Deputy Tulare, George Tulare, that read the names. Deputy Bob Eidenberg. This is the Eidenberg tent, by the way. It was actually made for, the Eidenberg family donated this after Chief Eidenberg passed away, and we thought it would be used for rain, but we got a suggestion the sun's just as bad, so it's great to have that here. My dear friend Chrissy Giannino, Nick Bellafato, Bobby DeSalvo, Stevie Duggan, Eddie Cataldo, George Slaney, Jimmy Doyle, Tony Jala, Kevin Aldoni, Rich Pioni, Frankie Flynn, Franny Osterly, Anthony DiGiovanni, Val Lanza, Bob Glass, Stanley Wells, John Langoni, Jack Doherty, Dave Rossetti, Dennis Bowen, I saw it right, Dennis, and Kevin O'Hara, the father. And also my dear, dear friend, John David Ferranti. Did I miss anyone? Thank you very much for being here with us, the retirees. Thank you. To the White, Olson, Champa families, thank you very much for being with us here today to celebrate the honor we have of putting their names on the wall. Thank you. To the families of our departed line of duty members, I saw Carla. Carla, how are you? And Dolly was supposed to be here, Dolly DeSantis. She back there? Under the tent. Hi, Dolly. And Gloria Ferranti. Thank you very much for being with us here this morning. Thank you. And as always, it's truly an honor and a privilege to stand here before you today, in particular, and participate in this, our most solemn and traditional ceremony. Each year, as we come together on the second Sunday morning in June, it becomes harder and harder to see our fellow firefighters' names up on the wall. As a much younger firefighter, you never realize truly what this job is about and how the people you work with become such a part of your life and family. As the years fly by and we come to these ceremonies, you see so many of your comrades that you lived with, fought fires with, and had one heck of a time just loving the job together. They have now become part of this band of brothers on the wall that are true heroes and our dear friends. While this is our small way to pay tribute for the service and sacrifice they gave to this department in the city of Revere, it is nonetheless fitting that we come to honor them with our friends and family and with their names forever engraved on this monument. I also want to thank the members that helped prepare the station, Captain Piccarello and Lieutenant Joe Plassett, our new landscaper. We're waiting for Anthony to give him a grade. I'm sure he's got a list of things. But also the men that came down during the week, I believe from groups 2 and 3 from Engine 5 that helped get things ready too. Thank you very much. So again, thank you again for being here this morning, and please join us inside for a small collation, courtesy of the officers and members of Local 926. To conclude our program, our department shall now file out with one last salute to our departed members as Captain Steve Denning of the Chelsea Pipes and Drums plays Amazing Grace. Detail. Right, face. Forward, punch.